Hi everyone. Today I'm going to teach you how to do the impromptu rising card. You will need a regular deck of cards, and you will also need to know how to control a card to the top of the deck. Now let's learn how to do this. Have the spectator select a card. It's very important to let them know that all the cards are different, and you can let them shuffle the deck if they choose. Let's say they take this card, which happens to be the Jack of Clubs. At this time, you can have them sign this card if you would like, because there's no switches. This really will be the card we'll make rise out of the deck. Once they've taken this card and they've signed it, what I do is I take the deck and I cut it right down the middle. I ask them to put their card face down right there, okay, the Jack of Clubs, and in order for me to control the card, what I do without them seeing is I take my thumb and I just bring their card down maybe 1/8 of an inch. Okay, can you see that? I just bring it down. So it starts up here and I just bring it down just a little bit. Now what this move does for me is when I drop all the rest of the cards on top, I have a break in the back. Okay, they don't see this because I'm holding the deck at this angle, but you can see I've got a break. And this is a great control to know, to bring a card to the bottom and ultimately back up to the top. So once you have this break, you take your thumb, and remember they don't see this, you lift up their selected card with all the rest, and you bring it to the bottom. Okay, so now we've got their card on the bottom. Now in their mind, they think it's somewhere in the deck. They don't know that I created a break. Okay? Now once you get to this point, square up the deck, don't flash the bottom, and I turn it this way, and you need to bring it back to the top. So you start shuffling cards, and when you get to the last one, their card, you drop it on top. And I'll repeat this again, bringing their card to the bottom, shuffling again. Now do it one last time, because you want to get their card back to the top. Okay? And this should be their card. Yep, the Jack of Clubs. Okay? And you bring that to the top. Now you've controlled their card to the top. They have no idea it's there because you've done all this shuffling. At this point, you could even do some false cuts if you want. I'll leave that up to you. Now once you get to this point, you tell them you're going to find their card in a magical way. Now one thing that's important is not to leave the deck perfect like this, and you'll learn why later. Okay? The old way of doing the impromptu card trick, rising card, was to just go like this and bring it up. Okay? And I recently got an idea from magician Tim David to do this effect a different way so that you create the illusion that the card's coming out of the center of the deck. Okay? So remember the old way was just to bring it up like this using your pinky. And the reason that's not good is because it's coming up from the back and it's kind of obvious what you're doing. So what I recommend is you take the deck, you take your hand, you cover up the bottom. You don't want them to see anything under here. You cover up the bottom. Here's why. You're going to very carefully move the front of the deck up, about the half of the front of the deck up, and you're going to leave the back of the deck down. Okay? And you'll find out why we're doing this in a moment. And then you take your hand and keep it here, because if you move it, they'll see you're doing something. Okay? So this hand must stay here, and you quickly create a little dip in the cards there without them noticing. Okay? Now the reason you're doing this is because when you bring this card up, you're going to be dropping it in the middle, and this makes it easier. Okay, so now you get to this point where you tell them you're going to find their card, and you can move your finger here and say you're getting static electricity, and this is going to help you find their card. From the back, you get your pinky right there. Okay? Now what you're doing is you're using your pinky as you're using your other finger up here to create misdirection to make the appearance that the card is rising out of the deck. And it's good to turn it a little like this once in a while. It looks like it's really coming up. Now when you get to this point, what I like to do is grab the top of the card, okay, and it's almost in the middle of the deck at this point. Now what you can do very carefully is just move it over with the back of your pinky. Okay, I didn't do that really quick, But if you do that fast while it's coming up, you can actually drop the card in the center of the deck. Now remember, I did very slow, but when you're coming up fast and you just drop it, you can actually get it in the middle. Now the cool thing about that is, once you get it locked in there, quickly bring the deck up and you can show them their card just came out of the deck. And there's no gimmicks, you know, they can check out this deck when you're done. So I think this is, when it's done right, it's very good. You can just fan the deck and let them see it's in the middle, let them take it out. You could, at this point, after you show it like this, let them reach in and pull out their card, okay, just like that, and let them examine this deck. You can borrow their deck, which is really neat. You don't need any gimmicks. In the past, when you wanted to do this effect to come out of the middle, you'd have to use the gimmick with the magnet and everything in the tape. This is really neat because you can just borrow a deck. You don't need to depend on all those gimmicks. So this is a great effect. It will require some practice to get the angles down, to get the moves down, but I guarantee you, once you get this to the point where you've practiced it enough, rehearsed it enough, and you're ready to start performing this for people, it will blow their minds. Because remember, you're pulling it out of the center of the deck. Okay? So give this a lot of practice, and I look forward to hopefully seeing some of your performance videos of this on our message board at learnmagictricks.org. Have a great day.